Prince Sam presents. 10 telltale indications someone is stupid. Utilizing common sense is a skill that you can use your best judgment and base your choices on what's best for you and those nearby. You and the rest of the world are involved. The ability to judge when to take chances and when to. Keeping things secure requires comprehension. Who you are, what you do, and how you feel affects your relationships, happiness, and your job, but common sense, as they say, is not very typical. Some individuals struggle with thinking clearly. Consider the effects before acting. They also frequently depend too heavily on the contributions from others or the day-to-day. Regular exposure to, as opposed to, instead of exercising their own discretion and experience, which we emphasize in this video. Indicators of possible deficiencies in this division, so let's get started. First of all, they take everything without putting it to the test. If you consider it, the majority of individuals who lack common sense and fail to recognize, they firmly hold that everything even if it seems completely absurd, they don't glance or pose any inquiries into objects themselves, and this may dangerous in a society where there are many half-truths, fabrications, and misinformation. After all, it's simple to be drawn in knowledge that is harmful if you don't know how to determine what is and is not accurate. Second, they struggle with reasoning critically. The capacity for critical reasoning is information analysis and conclusion making. Based on the facts, a person who common reason finds it difficult to understand simple concepts can be contradicted by them, and are frequently unable to describe the reasons why something is illogical for them. Such people frequently rush to conclusions, decisions, and take quick action before considering all of the options. They base their choices on the results as opposed to reasoning, and this can cause one to make bad decisions. Third, their concepts are frequently illogical. If somebody is attempting to persuade you of something, and their justification is illogical, this is convincing evidence that without the common reason, they lack the capacity to behave and think wisely. Using their judgment, they could analyze data, create erroneous or exaggerated answers, and rely on presumptions are founded on nothing real. Those who lack the propensity of common sense is to use superstitions or irrational ideas to comprehend their environment. Fourth, they view everything as black and white. When a person lacks common sense, be trapped in a kind of gray area. They have the belief that everything has to exist in some form or another. No other choices exist. These individuals never seem to understand anything. The idea that there are several. They won't take any into account, colors of gray, another choice, or admit that people possibly come from various angles. This can make it difficult for them to comprehend and share similar views with others. They are unable to come up with number 5 with problem-solving techniques. Common understanding can also be affected by clear from the way someone addresses fixing issues without considering what is right. They make decisions and develop responses that lack logic or are not useful. Additionally, if you've ever encountered someone like this, you know how irritating they are. Possibly because they are incapable of doing so. To assess and identify patterns. Presenting scenarios from various angles. Usually, only conflicts result from it. General confusion and anger. Sixth, they won't ask for assistance or whenever they require guidance. Common sense is often lacking in individuals to postpone asking for advice or direction, because they prefer to avoid admitting that they lack knowledge of something or need advice. Additionally, many people favor this. They exaggerate their level of expertise and undervalue a thing's intricacy. As a result, they might be less inclined to be able to identify when they are over there and need assistance, making it even less it's probable that they'll get in touch. Seventh, they continue to make the same errors several times. If you are a close family member or acquaintance, a part of a person with poor judgment, you might have observed that they produce making the same errors time and time again. Can be aggravating, particularly if you've attempted to justify their behavior by it might seem inappropriate or detrimental, like they simply aren't paying attention to you. But in truth, they are clueless. What accounts for the negative outcomes of they continue their behavior in order to behavior. 8. They're not capable of recognizing irony, comedy, or sarcasm. You discover yourself speaking with someone who simply doesn't understand you. Pranks, or who cannot understand them. If irony is intended, then either your stupid jokes or the other individual may be lacking using common reason. If the latter, they are unable to complete the payment because thinking relationship between both what is being said and the speakers, truly implying that they just accept it as is, face value, and fail to comprehend the underlying idea. 9 is the figure they mention. Improper subjects. People without common sense may speak because they talk about unsuitable subjects, lack awareness of social standards, and anticipations for the setting they occur in. They might not comprehend that certain subjects are taken into account. In some cases, inappropriate or offensive communal contexts, such as in the open or in when it comes to toddlers, in front of. There are specific items that we'd like to prefer not to share in some circumstances. And if someone is not adhering to this principle, then there is a good likelihood that they not being sensible. They decided to be uninformed in position 10. Frequently, individuals lack common sense because they don't want to learn. They choose to invest the necessary time and energy in study the material and comprehend it that they have access to. It might due to their fear of confronting them, either due to their fear of the reality, or they may also be affected by the information by their own prejudices, making it more probable to disregard or reject the evidence as a consequence. They often make choices that might be detrimental to them or people nearby them. In summary, it is crucial to just keep in mind that common wisdom isn't always. While some individuals may be born, it is a given. When it is at a higher degree, it is also something that is developable via having living experience and knowing when someone with poor common sense might let you to more effectively steer discussions. Situations and partnerships may benefit from it if you follow the suggestions and views you express, and even assistance. One learns to use common sense on their own. I hope you found this movie useful. Give it a thumbs up and tell your peers too. We can continue to produce them. Visit for more content like this. Click the subscribe option. Be careful to listen to the notification bell as well. Thank you for viewing.